I'm Lindsay Dreyer, founder of Happy Agent Co., where we empower women in real estate to build financial independence, lead with authenticity, and create joyful lives and businesses. Each week, I'll bring you bold conversations, actionable strategies, and the inspiration you need to build a business that supports your life, not the other way around. This is the podcast for women like you who want more than success. They want freedom. They want to make an impact. And more importantly, they want to do it all without sacrificing their happiness. Welcome to Happy Agent Co., where success is unapologetically yours. We're going to go a little off script in this episode, and I want to talk about the Bluey Season 3 finale. I have 3 little kids, a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and Bluey is absolutely the only show that the entire family enjoys, including me and my husband. I was recently watching the season 3 finale, which I've seen a million times, along with every other episode. I'm sure the parents of young kids can relate, but even if you aren't a parent, this show is magical. It's so good. It has this really just incredible ability to capture the human experience. So if you have not seen it, please watch it. It's on Disney+. But in particular, the season finale just reminded me so much of real estate. And let me set the stage for you if you have not seen it. In the finale, the Healer family basically consists of Bandit the dad, Chili the mom, and then Bluey and Bingo. They're both the sisters. And Bandit the dad gets a really great job opportunity that he feels like is going to be so great for his family, but it's going to require them to move and leave this house where they basically have raised their kiddos so far. And his wife, Chili, you can tell is really not loving this because it's going to take them away from their family that's close by, their friends, their neighborhood that they love. And you can imagine it is just this whirlwind of emotions for the whole family. And watching this episode, especially at the end, I was reminded that there is so much more to real estate than that just the transaction. I know that we do deals day in, day out. And I mean, even like the terms we use, it's like I'm under contract to close management. It just totally takes out the humanity of real estate. And I think we all know and understand and sometimes just forget that real estate, especially for people who aren't investors or it's, there's big emotions and we're often dealing with huge life changes, sometimes really sad, sometimes happy, but it can be such a roller coaster of emotions and uncertainty for our clients. And what I love about this episode is that it is so poignant and really cuts to how emotional and how complicated real estate moves can be for people and how they really impact their lives so much. So if you are struggling or you're like, why do I do this? Because I know sometimes we can feel like we're just pumping deals and just grinding and just turning the crank. I encourage you to watch this Bluey episode because I think it will be a powerful reminder of the difference that we make in our clients' lives through the ups and downs of a real estate transaction. But I also think it's a really great reminder that we need to have empathy for our clients' lives and emotions and guiding them through these huge life changes. Now, spoiler alert, at the end, the family has essentially moved all of their belongings out of the house and the buyers of their home back out because they found a house that they loved more. Now, I know from a real estate perspective, we're like, I'm not having my client move out of a house when the closing is not completely firm. But shit happens. And sometimes buyers get cold feet and they don't care if they lose their earnest money deposit. So in the case of this episode, I mean, it's just an emotional roller coaster. I am left in absolute tears at the end. Bandit, the dad, gets the message that the deal falls through. There's this beautiful scene of him tearing out the for sale sign and throwing it, basically indicating he's not going to be taking this job and that they're staying. Chili just like jumps on top of him and is so incredibly happy. And then Bluey and Bingo roll back into that empty house where all their stuff was gone. But you can just tell everyone was so incredibly happy to not be moving. And even though they didn't move, I still think that it just highlights the impact that moving has on people. So I really want to get into the lessons that I took away from this episode. And I know it seems silly, but this show is just so good. And this episode in particular is just so relatable to our jobs as real estate agents. I also think that there is also a more beautiful message of we just have to have faith that things are working out the way that they need to. And I don't know about you, but I feel like when I'm working with clients, a lot of the times I say, what's meant to be is meant to be, and it will be. Like if the condo documents prove to be a total disaster and you don't want to buy it, what's meant to be is meant to be. So there are a lot of things I want to get into, but the main things are, here's what I feel like are the real estate parallels with this episode. I feel like there are a lot of emotional layers of buying or selling a home. We can absolutely experience uncertainty and setbacks. And then we ultimately just have to have faith that things are working out for the best. As long as we are doing the best we can and we're doing our job, what's meant to be is going to be. And we just sometimes have to let go and just let things play out. Let's dive into the emotional layers of buying or selling a home. Just like the Healer family, our clients are often juggling huge life changes when they're buying or selling a home. We have new jobs, relocations, there's family milestones like the birth of a family, or maybe even just letting go of a family home. And it's not always happy, right? Sometimes there's sad emotions. Sometimes there's grief, even if a move could be happy. So we have divorce. We have somebody who's passed away. I think a lot of the times we forget that we are dealing with some of the most raw aspects of humanity. And I really feel like a great real estate agent is such a good shepherd and such a good space holder for people and their emotions. I know that that's not in the job description technically, but from my 20 years of being in real estate, the best real estate agents hold space for their clients and their big emotions without taking it on themselves, without taking things personally. And I think that that's such an important piece of being a great real estate agent, is being able to set that boundary of, I know you're having big feelings right now, and I'm here for you. I think becoming a parent really helped me with this. I don't think I was really good at it before I became a mom. And I'm not saying that you have to have kids to learn how to do this, but I do think that knowing which feelings are yours and which are your clients is a really, really good life skill, and having that discernment is really important. The next thing is the uncertainty and setbacks. We are dealing with people and processes, and as much as we want to control things, make sure things go smoothly, there is always uncertainty and there are oftentimes setbacks. Deals can fall through, timelines can shift, and unexpected challenges inevitably arise. And just like in this Bluey episode, it's not just about the logistics of real estate. It's not about, oh, we had all our contingencies waived or cleared, and then that person didn't buy the home. It's really about how those changes are impacting your client's emotions and their sense of security. Great real estate agents are going to be masters at setting expectations and really laying out how the process should go ideally. But we also have to be able to explain to our clients that things can go wrong. We can't control everything, which I know is hard. We act like risk managers in real estate, which is a really great reason to hire a real estate agent, to make sure that things go as right as possible or increases the chances of things going right and getting to closing with minimal hiccups. But I also think we need to be a steadying presence in the face of uncertainty or setbacks and really not being reactive and helping clients process our emotions while keeping that bigger picture in focus. So again, going back to holding space, being steady, and really just making sure that you're doing everything you can to manage that uncertainty and those setbacks when they arise. One of my biggest pet peeves is when agents tell their clients that something's going wrong without having solutions to the problem. So I don't think we should hide anything or lie to our clients, but let's say I get a call and I'm representing the buyer, and the listing agent lets me know that the basement has flooded. I am not going to turn around and call my client to tell them that the basement has flooded. First of all, it's not even their house yet, so it's really not their problem. But I want to know, how is this issue getting solved so I can then go to my client with what the solution to that problem is. So I'm going to give the listing agent and the seller some time to line up ServPro, figure out why the basement flooded, remedy the situation, or at least get a game plan in place. So then I can communicate to my client, hey, something bad happened, the basement flooded, but here's the game plan. The same goes for delivering news to the other side of the transaction. So for example, if your client has a setback in their financing, you're representing the buyer, delivering news to the listing agent that your client's having a setback, that's not great communication. That's not managing those setbacks well. You need to have a solution and a win. It needs to be a win-win for both sides. And again, we don't have to immediately deliver it as soon as we hear it. Let's process that setback and let's come up with solutions and information and a plan of attack that's going to help our client feel better and also help them feel like you're doing a great job managing that process. The last thing, and I know for some of you this might seem a little like woo-woo, but I really truly believe what's meant to be is supposed to be. In the 20 years I've been selling real estate, I've never had somebody end up with the house that they weren't supposed to have. So I know it can be hard when clients miss out on deals, we lose in multiple offers, or maybe something blows up once they're under contract. But I really believe that whatever's meant to be is meant to be. I've had situations where a client goes under contract, something is super wrong with the house, we can't come to terms on negotiation items, and we cancel the contract, and the client literally lost their job 2 days later. So I really feel like that was definitely the best thing to happen. They ultimately weren't in a position to purchase that home, and that home inspection was a great, easy out for them, so we didn't have to go through financing contingency and all of that stuff. So sometimes it's hard, but I do think we have to let go of control and just trust that things are working out for the best. So I know that when a deal falls through or plans change, especially if you need that closing, you need that money, it can feel devastating in the moment. But I know in my heart that those moments often lead to something better down the road. And clients can smell commission breath. Commission breath is the worst thing you can have. So we just have to release that control and just have faith that things are going to work out. To recap this section, we as real estate agents need to be really great at dealing with the emotions of buying and selling a home, dealing with those uncertainty and those setbacks, and then ultimately just having faith that what's meant to be is meant to be. Now, I want to dig a little bit deeper into building empathy in your real estate business, because I think empathy is one of those emotional intelligence tools that makes a great real estate agent. Being able to put yourself in your client's shoes and really understand how this move or sale is impacting them, or this purchase is impacting them. The first step, I think, is just understanding where your clients are coming from. What is their emotional journey throughout this transaction. So like the healers and Bluey, they were saying goodbye to a home full of memories. That house didn't just represent a house for them. That was a home full of memories for them. I also think they were feeling like nervous about moving to an unknown place and maybe mourning the loss of their future that they thought they were going to have in this house. It can be a emotional roller coaster. My preteen daughter and I like to call when we're feeling all the feels, rainbow chameleon. So I think that real estate transactions can often be so rainbow chameleon, like we have all the feels. And the thing is, our clients process these emotions differently. Every person processes emotions differently. Some people are more outwardly processing, some people are internally processing. So I don't think we need to be therapists. That's not our job. I do think we need to have some emotional intelligence in understanding how are our clients feeling. And it is okay to ask them that. I actually think that's a really human thing to do. It's such a nice thing to do. Like, how are you feeling about this move? What a powerful question to ask your clients. And I don't think a lot of agents are asking that question. I think that gives you a lot of good understanding to where they're coming from, which is, I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm feeling really sad. I also think that's an opportunity to step in and give them an amazing experience. You might be able to go above and beyond for them. So maybe there's a home full of memories and they were marking the height of all their kids on their door jamb. Maybe you go in and you pry that door jamb off and you just replace it. You have a handy person come in and just do that. And then you're able to gift them that door jamb that has all of their kids' measurements on it. So looking for those opportunities to have an emotional connection with your client and have maybe a meaningful opportunity to deliver an amazing client experience, just keep your eyes open to that. I don't think we need to hide from the emotions of the experience. I actually think we can use them to deliver a better experience and build relationships. I also want to talk about some practical ways that you can show empathy. I think being present and really actively listening is such a key to understanding what your client's concerns and emotions are. Again, asking good questions and not shying away from understanding how they're feeling about things, because sometimes it just feels good to be listened to. Sometimes our clients just need to vent, especially in situations where they're feeling like things are out of control or that they're really emotionally heightened. The next way that you can show empathy is just to reassure them. I think as humans, we all want to be reassured that things are going to be okay. So when setbacks happen, remind them that we're going to do what we can do in order to get things back on track. But sometimes there's just things that are out of our control. But I'm here to guide you towards the right solution, and hopefully we'll be successful in selling your home or buying this home. The other thing is just offer solutions that really take into account their best interests. So I think with clients, they always want to feel like you're on their side. So that's another way that we can show empathy, is that not only do we understand them, but we're on the same team. And that's something I like to remind clients throughout the process, is that it's not me against you, against the listing agent, against the seller. You and I are on the same team. So what you want and what your end goal are, that's the most important thing to me. We are team get this house or team sell this house. And then lastly, I think, again, we just need to trust the process. You can only control what you can control. And I know we want to control everything, but you can only do so much. And it is hard when things fall apart. I know I personally take so much responsibility for something that doesn't go well or falls apart on me. But sometimes it's a little bit easier to accept that defeat of maybe a deal getting canceled when I know that I did the best I could, when I know that I tried to account for all of the things that could go wrong, and anything that was in my control, I managed. So definitely make sure that there's a bit of just trusting the process, but do what you can to control what you can control. And then you kind of have to release the rest and not worry about it too much, or else you're just going to be racked with anxiety and worry, which is not a fun place to be in. I really encourage all of you to go watch that Bluey season finale. I dare you to watch it without crying at the end. It is just so heartbreaking. It definitely pulls at your heartstrings, and my kids laugh at me. Actually, no, my 9-year-old cries with me, but then everyone else looks at me like I'm crazy. But it is so good. Please watch it. But it is a great reminder of all the emotional layers involved in a move and a home sale, and that it's so complicated. It involves emotions, it involves big moves. It's so great. I love it so much. It also teaches us the importance of having faith in the process and that you have to stay grounded in the moment and just show up with empathy and compassion when things get tough, or even when they don't. Just have empathy and compassion, because this is a big deal for our clients, and it's so often we forget that. Real estate is so much more than houses. It is truly about our clients and their stories. And being that steady presence that your clients need can absolutely help them navigate the logistics and the emotions of their buying or selling journey. And ultimately, I just want you to remember that setbacks are going to happen. Nobody's perfect. We are dealing with very complex situations oftentimes. Even when shit totally hits the fan, usually things are working out for everyone's higher good, even if that path isn't clear right away. So thank you for listening to this maybe somewhat unconventional episode of Happy Agent Co. But I just had to jump on because this was fresh in my mind, and I thought that it would be a fun little break from the norm. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Happy Agent Co. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take action to build a business and a life you absolutely love. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share it with a fellow agent who might need to hear it. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you are feeling generous, leave a review. Until next time, stay happy.